I was looking forward to this video because it is currently January, and January is one of the hardest months in Sweden. It's cold and it's dark, and currently there's a little snowstorm outside, you know, it couldn't be worse basically. But I thought I could use this situation and make a good positive video and talk about all the good things about Sweden. And I have actually 50 different things, 50 things I say thank you to Sweden, I'm grateful for in Sweden, and I want to talk about these 50 things in this video today. Each thing I will make very short because 50 things are a lot, but hopefully it will help you to cheer up a little bit in January. And if you watch this video later than January, well, in Sweden you also have February, March, maybe April, where it's still not that great. So maybe you really need this video for a little bit longer, and then the next year comes as well. Before we dive into all the good things Sweden has to offer, I wanted to mention another thing which is really good, and I guess it's related to Sweden. You can sign up now to my newsletter. There is a link down in the description below. This is brand new, so I've just started this. I have no one who signed up, so let's see how many people sign up from my first video. But I want to talk about, you know, obviously Sweden. I want to give tips. I want to, you know, talk about what I discovered in Sweden, which I not always can make a whole video about it, but then in my newsletter I can talk a little bit more about it and link to websites or whatever. But also if people have questions, they can just email me back, have ideas of other videos, and I also will try to have some surveys so I just know what you like and what kind of questions you have. Sign up with a link down in the description below. Okay, let's start with 50 good things Sweden has to offer. Although I have to say, some of the things I mention I haven't experienced or tried or whatever myself. Just a few things because, I mean, I live here now for 2.5 years, which feels long and short at the same time. And there's still so many things I need to try and experience. But I'm still grateful for that Sweden has to offer these things, and I'm sure I will experience or try these things eventually. Okay, let's start with number 1, Scandinavian design. Absolutely beautiful. Number 2 is Swedish meatballs. I don't want to say much about it because they're just delicious. It's a cool invention of Sweden. The beautiful seasons in Sweden. Yes, maybe not just here in Sweden, but I love it so much. You have proper winters, you have spring, autumn, and the summers are absolutely beautiful. I talked about this on my channel multiple times. I love fika, and if you don't know what fika is, watch some of my videos where I mention it. It's just one of the greatest things here in Sweden. And also, thank you Sweden for ABBA. I mean, I love ABBA. It's a very unique band, and to this day I can listen to their songs. Thank you Sweden for parental leave. I also talked about this a few times in my videos, and I'm a parent, so I am very grateful how the parental leave here is structured in Sweden. Watch some of my videos if you want to know more. I want to thank Sweden for Swedish Midsummer. It's one of my favorite celebrations here in Sweden, and I have documented that as well. And in 2024 there's another Swedish Midsummer coming, and I'm so looking forward to it. I also think one of the greatest things in Sweden are the Northern Lights, and that is actually one experience I haven't had here in Sweden, but it is on my priority list to explore here in Sweden. I love the archipelagos here, especially around Stockholm. It's something to be super grateful for. I think I haven't mentioned this in a while, but one of the things I love about Stockholm is the many groups of islands around here. Thank you for ice hotels. I mean, of course, you have to make the most out of the cold, you know, and even the darkness, and ice hotels is one thing you can enjoy here in Sweden. Thank you for Stockholm. I really love that city so far. I know I actually have to explore it much deeper than what I have done already. Because I'm a parent, I don't get out very often. I have explored it with my kids as well, but there's 2 dimensions of it. As a parent, you know, with kids, but also alone. But I love Stockholm, and I thank Sweden for Stockholm. Of course, Swedish nature is amazing, even in winter. And thank you for the butter knife, the smörkniv. I hope I said that right. Thank you for Lucia celebrations. I love Lucia celebrations here in Sweden. And Christmas in general is really amazing here in Sweden. Thank you for saunas. You kind of need cold weather, you know, a cold lake or the sea to really enjoy a sauna afterwards. What I love is also the lights in each window of every home. It looks so beautiful, and obviously it really helps during the darker period of time. Thank you for cinnamon buns, kanelbulle, and there's also cardamom buns and saffron buns. All of them are delicious. Thank you for the Dala horse or Dala hest, which is quite a symbol for Sweden. It looks beautiful and is actually in the logo of my YouTube channel. Thank you for herring. I'm a fan of herring. Thank you for lördagsgodis. You maybe heard of it in one of my videos, but basically it helps us rationing the candy and say to our kids there will be only sweets at the weekend, particularly Saturday. Thank you for Swedish innovation. Leave a comment down below to name anything which comes into your mind, because I have to move on to the next point. Thank you for lingonberries. Thank you for affordable preschools and free schools. I know people say you pay with a tax for it, but you do that in many countries. But it's still a great thing here in Sweden. Thank you for all the Swedish people who speak English, and that pretty perfectly. Thank you for the recycling culture here in Sweden. Thank you for the talented musicians and songwriter coming from Sweden. Thank you for the Nobel Prize. That's pretty amazing. Thank you for the Baltic Sea, right? You probably haven't thought about that. Something to be grateful for. Thank you for taking off shoes when you enter a house. I think that is a great habit. Thank you for ski resorts. We went last year and it was pretty amazing, super organized, and there are so many here in Sweden, and I really want to go again. And I don't know if we are able to do that this year based on circumstances, but subscribe to my channel to find out. Thank you for knäckebröd, crisp bread. Love it. And also Sweden is great for work-life balance, so you have to be grateful for that, don't you? Thank you for allemansrätten, which we haven't tried yet and it's on my list, but basically you can just roam around in nature and camp anywhere you want, apart from maybe on someone's property, but that is just a really cool thing here in Sweden. And thank you for the great public transport. I barely think about that because I'm now so used to it, but when I experience public transport in other countries, it just kind of is a reminder how good it is here in Sweden. Thank you for the Swedish film industry, and I'm saying that because I'm really curious now to find out what Swedish films are like. So this is definitely something on my list also for this year, obviously with my Swedish hopefully improving. I have an easier time to watch Swedish films. Name a few really cool Swedish films down in the description below and I will check them out. Thank you for the Swedish wildlife. Thank you for Easter, which is actually quite different than what I'm used to because of the little Easter witches, and I haven't experienced it. The last years we haven't really celebrated it because we are not very familiar with it, so we need to find someone we can celebrate it. But it is a little bit similar maybe to Halloween, where you walk around houses and instead of little monsters walking around, you have little witches. You will definitely experience that at some point. And thank you Sweden for H&M. I'm still a big fan of H&M. And then also thank you for IKEA or IKEA, two brands which I actually really love. Thank you for the Jokkmokk Winter Market, which I haven't experienced, but it is on my list and some of you have mentioned it to me. This is something to really explore here in Sweden. Thank you so much Sweden for your coffee culture. I mean, I feel at home. Swedish people are just my kind of people. I love coffee. Thank you for crayfish parties. Again, another tradition which I haven't experienced yet, but fingers crossed this year will be the first time I will experience it. And thank you for the Viking history. I know this sounds a little bit random, but it is so cool to think about what happened in the past and also what influence it has to the Swedish people today. Thank you for the Swedish lakes. They are so beautiful and there are so many around here alone in Stockholm, around Stockholm. This is where we spend a lot of time in summer. Thank you for the Swedish language. It is a very interesting melodic language and I'm enjoying learning it even if it's sometimes hard. Thank you for the well-organized and beautiful camping sites here in Sweden. Thank you for the commitment to sustainability. That is something quite Swedish as well. Thank you for affordable housing housing. And by that I mean, you know, when you buy a property here, it can be much cheaper than in other countries. Thank you for Fredagsmys. I think that's such a cool little tradition here in Sweden, where you just have the family together on a Friday, sit together, watch a movie and eat something in front of the TV. It's just also cool that there's a name for it. And last but not least, Kalles Caviar. Something I'm addicted to and try not to buy because it will not survive very long. It's delicious. Check it out. So I hope you enjoyed these 50 things I am grateful for in Sweden. Let me know if you want to add anything down in the comments below. And I hope I will see you in my next video. Until then, have a great day and stay safe. Hej då!